It's a rainy day here in Seattle. I guess that's not really news. That's not much of a surprise. This is the second video. I am currently reading a book called Jesus the King by Tim Keller, and there's a section he was talking about love. And I don't know, it just kind of got me thinking about love. I think it's interesting to me how we here in the West, modern people, we don't really have a lot truly lacking in the sense of essentials. What I mean is like food, water, clothing, air, shelter. Like, these problems have largely been solved, and it's not something that we spend a lot of our time thinking about in general, because there's definitely people that do struggle, but in general, like, we have it pretty good, even compared to people that lived 50 years ago. We have it pretty good, but it's very interesting how, despite all that, despite having all of those needs, we still seem to lack a lot. And I studied psychology in school, and I find it really interesting. And well, you don't have to have studied psychology to know the rampant amount of anxiety and depression that's going on, especially among young people. And sometimes it kind of baffles me sometimes how, because you would think if we have all our essentials met, that there shouldn't be much else, but yet we somehow live in this age of anxiety, this high prevalence of anxiety and depression, and I often think about that a lot. And so, what are we missing? What are we missing that's keeping us from flourishing? And so I'm connecting that idea with this idea from Tim Keller's book, Jesus the King, where he's talking about love, and the idea that love might be something that's essential, just as essential maybe as water or air or food or shelter. And I know that's kind of like, even as I'm saying that, I feel a little self-conscious about, um, I don't know, I can already feel like the eye rolling and the like, kind of, is this too kind of mushy or whatever. But I mean, we all have an innate sense of wanting to feel loved and wanting to be accepted. I mean, even the most macho guy wants the acceptance of his other macho guy peers, right? So, like, there is a sense that where it pains us to feel rejected, even if we're one of those people that are like, I don't really care what other people think, which, I don't know. I think deep down we do care what people think. Otherwise, how could we function as people in a society, right? So deep down there is a level of acceptance that we yearn for. And so I wonder if the idea of love as an essential, if we're not just talking about biologically, but just flourishing, how can a human being flourish? Then maybe then love is essential and it is important. And so I guess I'm just trying to think what category love fits in when we're comparing it to what does the human being need to flourish. Then what Jesus is talking about and what Christians talk about makes a lot of sense, because Christians, we talk a lot about love. I mean, we're going to talk about something, an emotion, and not just love as an emotion, but you know what I mean. It's love, and it's often, I often wondered, why does love seem to be the kind of the, I don't know if I want to call it a virtue, but kind of like the state that we should operate out of. Like, everything we do should operate out of love, it seems. I mean, God is even described as love, right? Ultimate person, right? So, uh, in Christ. So, it's got me thinking a lot about love, um, and yeah, how essential it is. And maybe that's one of the aspects of the gospel that's really beautiful in an age like ours, in an age where people are anxious, an age where people are lonely. Um, I mean, we got all our other kind of requirements met, but this idea of being infinitely valued and accepted, maybe people need that. Like, maybe people need to know that they are infinitely accepted and loved, not just accepted and loved by friends or parents. Like, maybe that's not enough. Maybe people need to feel infinitely valued, and that's what Christ offers. So I think that's all I have. Maybe I'll talk about this more in another video, but yeah, peace.